Welcome again to our, this is microphone for you, this is microphone for me, yes. Welcome again. So we are live streaming this and recording, so everything that you say is going to be publicly, so please. We wanted to use this half an hour, as Guy announced, kind of like just to go briefly about what you heard today. And put it through the prism of your organizations. Before we start, I would like to have each of you maybe 3-minute pitch, like startups. Present yourself, introduce the organization you're coming from, and maybe how does your organization helps the startup ecosystem in general. So as we have ladies first, Mina, please. The camera is over there.
Thank you, Nenad. Hello to everyone. Hello on behalf of WWF, World Wildlife Fund. My name is Mina and I'm the youth coordinator for WWF Adria based in Belgrade, Serbia. Firstly, and I think it's a great idea to introduce myself as a pitch, having listened to incredible startups so far. I hope I can only do them justice at this moment. First of all, I'd like to say, what is even an organization such as WWF, who is working for the protection of the environment, for people and nature, doing at a startup panel during the Impact Hub Demo Day? Well, more than anything, we're here to remind the world, the financial stage, that as important as investments in startups and supporting new ideas is, nature is likewise as important. We've had a number of occasions today the word sustainability mentioned. It felt like a buzzword of the day. So we are here to speak for the nature, speak for people, and remind each other that without, as I heard somebody say recently, without the planet, there's no need for money either.
Yes, thank you, Mina. Dan, please, my next guest.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Dan Tonic. I come from European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. I'm a part of the SME Finance and Development Group, and I'm a regional coordinator of the Star Venture program. I used to say it's a new program, but not anymore. So the first 3 years of our piloting program are just about to be finished, but we are continuing with the new funding mechanisms. We used to be supported and funded by Luxembourg. Now we are going to use the European Union funding, the regional funding. So the program in a nutshell supports the high potential startups directly through the advisory, mentoring, business diagnostics, matching with investors, matching with any possible stakeholder that could be relevant for the startups expansion to other markets, as well as to attracting investments. Also dealing with accelerators such as Impact Hub. We have been collaborating, I can say, not well, but extraordinarily well the last couple of years, and expect to continue such collaboration. And the third pillar of our program is the, let's put it very vaguely, ecosystem development, which brings the support to local consultancy capacities, the public policy, dealing with public and private sector stakeholders, mobilizing different financial mechanisms, all part of this today's topic. Also moving the entities, the business entities that have never been involved in the ecosystem before. So long story short, to put back the spotlight to the region of the Western Balkans, where we operate as a program, but moreover to mobilize all the actors that could be relevant for the ecosystem development. Thank you very much. So happy to be here again.
Yeah. And my third guest, Vlado.
Thank you, Nenad. My name is Vladimir Jovanovic. I'm coming from Erste Bank, Serbia, where I work as the head of a social banking unit that is conducting the step-by-step program. Step-by-step program is launched in every country where Erste Bank is present, and we serve non-bankable clients. So we serve in Serbia and in other countries as well, but in Serbia primarily startups, NGOs, and social enterprises. But when we say a startup inside a bank, it's a bit, let's say, wider definition. So when we say startup, it's a newly registered company or a company that works below 2 years. And among them, there are very potential companies with high potential for growth in international markets, and very similar businesses like the ideas we heard today. So far, we supported over 400 clients, and beside the loans that we provide with no additional collateral, which is very important for them, we provide the non-financial support through mentoring, education, networking, and sales support, etc., organize different activities and projects related to the non-financial support. And we believe that this is equally important as the loans that we provide. It's really my great pleasure. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today. And I must say that I didn't attend, maybe even before this COVID pandemic, I attended a similar event. And I must say that I'm very, very satisfied with the quality of the ideas today. So I want to congratulate the organizer, both as the competitors that were presenting here. In terms of our possibilities, I cannot see also companies that may also possibly get a bank support as well. So I'm quite excited to see who will be the winner today. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vlado. So yes, so the point of our panel is, of course, to mix, and I want to say that ImpaHub is a very proud partner of all three organizations, and we've been collaborating, as you mentioned, I think very successfully, and we are very excited that actually we had an opportunity to have you here in the space while we also project this out of the space as well. What we learned, I think, in the past year, so that kind of the hybrid model is in front of us. Now, when we think of the companies we heard today, I wanted to have a little bit of your reflection. How do you see the potential of a business model, or is there a one out of all that you heard that you would point out and it's your favorite, and maybe to say why? And there's no particular order. I mean, whoever feels comfortable, maybe can take mic and share with us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to call your names because so
I have to apologize because I didn't come on time, so I missed a small share of the first presentation, and the end sounded very, very interesting. So I believe that it's a very good product, but I don't have all the information. But from, let's say, the bank's point of view, you have companies with already proven track record and some quite good revenues that prove that their business model is actually sustainable and that there is potential for further growth. I'm talking about the company. I forgot the name, but the merchandise, the customer experience analysis.
Yeah.
Ops is the end, I think.
Yeah.
Shopnosis, yes.
Yeah.
That's actually a project that I believe that may rely on the bank support, of course, depending on their financing needs and plans. On the other side, I find the idea from Croatia, GEPEK, quite interesting personally, because I know that my wife's mother would really use it to send us the packages from Montenegro to Serbia. So I see the regional and wider potential as well. So for us, when we want to decide for an investment, it's very important to have a proven business model. And I believe that all, or let's say almost all of them today, actually have proven that their model can be viable and sustainable. So it will be a tough challenge for the jury. So
you're betting Shopnosis or
Shopnosis or GEPEK. So I apologize one more time because I didn't hear the first one. It's very, very important subject that they tackle, and there's great potential. I have some background in medical equipment. So with the reserve that I didn't hear the first idea, those were the two that I would possibly just saying without enough information about the finance model for GEPEK, but the idea is the idea sounds quite interesting for me.
Yeah, I'm going to take a round.
Okay, yes, thank you. Well, for me, for sure, I mean, the most mature idea is the Shopnosis. And I can tell that from the aspect of not just my program, but considering all the things that they have presented, all the troubles they had during the pandemics with such business model being directly affected by the regulation, the measures, but still having a successful first quarter of this year. I think they're on their way to to become a very, very successful business. On the other hand side, when I switch off my everyday business, I think the first presentation was fantastic. The things that they are doing is great, and it just reminds me that we can't we can't take a look on every startup as a business. So I think the impact the Neuroblast is about to make is tremendous, but it needs a lot of institutional government support and that goes beyond our country to make such thing and such a sector more efficient and becoming more widespread and more used in everyday business without making it commercial. So this is what I got from presentation. Thanks.
Amazing.
Firstly, all the ideas have been absolutely fantastic. The presentation, the ideation. Not to name names, I think everyone is pretty aware of who would be most aligned to WWF values and mission. But what I do have to also point to is the noble aspects of some of the startups we saw today. The high level of technology involved in some of the startups, the accomplishments of some of those so far. So on one hand, as I said, I think it is pretty clear who would most aligned to the more sustainable aspects of the startups, but at the same time highlighting the importance of looking into environmental impacts of different kinds of activities the startups offer.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. So my question to you, to kind of continue to talk about it, actually, can you tell us more about the actual input measurements and how that influences the actual businesses? Obviously, you're not a financially supporting organization, but you are actually having quite an impact on any business in that sense. So if you can tell us a bit more about that, that would be really great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So no decision that WWF makes goes without taking into full consideration the scientific information, scientific based information. So the environmental impact measures, what they do and what they aim to do is, on one hand, to provide further knowledge of further gaps that potentially may occur. At the same time, providing ideas for tool developers to come up with new ones, but more than anything, it serves as a recommendation for financial investments in terms of what sorts of things to take into consideration when choosing to support or not to support, whether there is any potential greenwashing, but also taking into account sustainable development goals and similar.
Yeah, and maybe you can pass the mic to Vlada, because I want to lean to this, because I know through our joint project also, and you mentioned from your department you're working on the social aspect of it as well. Is there do you consider environmental aspect same as social aspect from your banking when you look at the potential clients that you want to support, and how do you do it? Maybe you can tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, those activities are not under my unit, but definitely the bank is developing products and services closely related to energy efficiency and to environment protection. So I think that we are one of the leaders at the market in the renewable sources of energy financing, and in our everyday business we have very strict environmental rules that we follow as a company. So we can say that from the business side and the social side, we are very, very aware about the environment and the green energy.
So basically, you have different, if I understand well, the department you're working in, which is kind of like a social banking, doesn't.
Yes, we have especially the developed units for renewable energy and environment protection. So Those are the colleagues mostly from the corporate team, because those are, let's say, high transactions in terms of renewable energy resources. But all units have very, very, let's say, strict rules based on these two areas.
Okay. Diana, and obviously through your project that you mentioned, it's implemented throughout the Western Balkan region. You worked with a lot of companies. I think so far it was like 18, or I forgot.
25.
So 25 now. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to do the crosscut of those 25 companies, how many of those are, I guess, more towards impact oriented businesses? How many of those are not? And the sub question would that be, which region is kind of like better off, you know, because you work in different countries. So which country is kind of the leader in this sector?
Yeah, I can start with that question first. I would say that the kind of before sometime less developed countries did a lot of improvement recently, and you can see that the situation is definitely even more improving in North Macedonia and Kosovo, for instance. You can see a lot of ideas coming. I can't say that they're all very successful, but the funnel of these ideas coming and growing and multiplying is fantastic. On the other hand side, the traditional leader of the region, Serbia, is still ahead of the other parts of the region. But here and there, we can say that Bosnia and Herzegovina and even Montenegro, as you know, the smallest, Albania, of course, are definitely following. It's very hard for me now. I mean, 3 years ago, I would make such comparison between the countries and the markets. But now, the more I work with all 6, I can tell that if you put us all together, we're still super tiny. So, and I could rather consider these 6 as part of one unit rather than 6 competing markets. And as for the startups, the high potential startups that we would like to see scaling at some point, from those 25, I could see maybe 5 directly producing an impact. 5 more are about to do, and they're not knowing about it, that they're on their way to do it, that they will become a leader of a new wave of similar businesses that might grow on their track. So, but 5 for sure are doing things willingly, you know, to motivate the market and to motivate new businesses to follow them.
Okay,
which is good.
Thank you. That sounds actually very good. I think that very often in our case, when we you know, see startups for the very first time, very often the founders are not maybe even aware of what kind of potential impact they have in the building of their product. So very often it's something like, you know, well, let me think of this as a business first, you know, because that's what I'm trying to do. And then, you know, we very often talk to the companies and try to explain to them, well, you know, but there is also this other side that you're creating and they're not even aware of. With that having said, actually, I wanted to reflect a little bit, and maybe you can give more reflections. There is a whole scene in the world of economics where the impactful ventures actually have even more space for fundraising, and maybe obviously, you know, to the, you know, special capital that's available for this type of businesses. Can you share with us maybe some of those potentials? Why is a company more fundable if it has an impact in its own measurement, right, or in its own attraction, than maybe the one that's not even thinking about creating an impact?
Thank you for that question. I think it actually brings us sort of full circle to the start of the day today. I believe it was Shippy Pro who mentioned actually, who sort of answered your question right there. I think more and more we as individuals, you know, within our communities, within our society, are more aware of the impact that we as individuals are having on our environment. You know, so on one hand we have that question of, you know, how much can I do to help? You know, how much can I as an individual do to mitigate climate change, you know, for example. But on the other hand, when we have the question of, who else is responsible for those actions, who else should take the onus for being more conscious in that way. I think, as I said, I believe it was one of the startups at the very start who said that we as consumers are more aware and more inclined to be drawn to those providers who are actually more environmentally conscious, who are greener businesses, who have the proven track record of being so. So it's becoming slowly, I believe, in a way entwined into our identity to be drawn to those sorts of opportunities, and I hope it only grows in future.
Thank you. So we have kind of bring to the end our discussion. Do you have any reflections on this, maybe to share that from your field of work on answering this question of how much of that impact measurement is important in fundraising?
For EBRD's perspective, it means a lot, since we are primarily a large multinational financial institution that just went to this arena of innovation and startups directly recently, still three and something years ago. But as this part development in the name of our institution means a lot to us, that it's not just about direct financing, it's not just about creating a money valued ideas, it's rather to create a large impact, because we have perceived the whole story behind startups competing and growing and dying and growing again as the most promising and most fertile part of the economy that can preserve the local and regional capacities, and that can grow and reach its maximum at some point.
Yeah.
Comparing to large multinationals that we of course also support, but if we want to make something sustainable for a country and a region itself, we have to invest in these grassroots initiatives and helping growing and again living the whole circle of business.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, for our bank, impact is very important, and the dedication by forming specialized units that support the companies that create impact, I think that confirms this. And we will stay dedicated to this since we are all for over 200 years, because we were actually founded as a form of institution that wanted to provide financial services to all the people, no matter what category they belong to. And as you know, we are always developing new things, instruments in cooperation with the Impact Hub, also in Serbia, and both international. We are launching some new finance instruments. So we stay dedicated to impact creators, and we try to support them as much as a bank can do.
Thank you, Lado, and thank you all of my panelists. So with this, I think we saw some of our jury members walked in, and also our sponsors of the demo, they walked in. So we were very excited. We had a little bit bets here who is going to be the best awarded startup. So we can't really wait to hear the news. So Gaia, please, if you want to take your spot. And with this, we close our panel. Thank you once again, and let's hear who's the best.
Thank you so much. Well, we've come to that moment, right, when we have to say who was the best today. But of course, as always, everybody did an amazing job, and 5 minutes and 10 minutes of question answers really cannot be exhaustive, and we want to know so much more about what you do, and there's definitely a world to discover and to develop. The jury was actually unanimous about this decision, and I have to really thank each and every one of the jury members, because they all gave full availability to further help the development of the startups who want to, and especially the ones that they have actually nominated as the best for today. So we're going to be very happy here at the Impact Hub to provide the platform and the assistance through our jury panels for the further development of every one of you, and especially Emina and Motus. So congratulations. We really do see amazing potential and markets for you, and we're here to help you in your next steps. Thank you so much to all of you. And I'd love to call Alexander and Milan from MyFit World and let you know, come here guys. So they can let you know what it means to be on the MyFit World platform. It definitely has to do with health. So you're a perfect fit. Guys.
I will do it like this. Is okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. So hello, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be in such an occasion. So first of all, we want to congratulate to the winners, and of course to all other competitors that made this day really a beautiful day. So keep your head up, and so all of you are certainly doing the right thing, and I know that you're all some sort of winners. We from MyFit World want to say, as Gaia said, especially in these days, we all know after the corona, and when we know that the health is most important thing in our life in order to move further for any of our goal in life, and then it's really a right type of investment that we make in any time in our lives. So we want to support that. And from MyFit World, as a platform who is dedicated to fitness and wellness, we are giving to the winners 3 yearly premium membership statuses. And I don't know, when we said we are willing to give 2 for the silver medal and 1 for the bronze medal. So it's like just a small gesture from our side. And I don't know, once again, I want to tell you all congratulations to all of you, and thank you for this beautiful day. And that's it. Have a nice day. And please, one more thing to the winners, we will be in touch, and for the second and the third place, we will be in touch in order to do the technical stuff. Thank you once again, and best regards to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys. And I think with this, we kind of come to the closing of our event today. Once again, thank you very much. I'll repeat, this was a 29th demo day in a row for Impact Hub and for the region. We are very happy and excited we did this. I have to say that our panel actually had a total different discussion about the potential winner of today. So I'll say that then in that case, the second place goes to Shopnosis, because that was the company that we felt that was, kind of like reflected the best potential, and also the company we discussed and we really believe had a really potential impact on business and the region as well is the GEPEC. That's the third one. So I guess with that we have our lineup of 3 companies. So thank you guys so much for attending this. So today is St. Patrick's Day. So I guess I hope Emina was really lucky, yes. We are going to have a small happy hour for the people who are in the space. So you're welcome and invited on stage. There's some food and some drinks. We don't have green beer, but we have some other, good beer as well. For you guys that are online, I guess we salute you and cheers virtually, and we hope to see you very soon here or at your place or wherever the world brings us. With this, I think we come to the closure. If there are no final sayings, thank you very much all again. And sorry about going a little bit beyond our regular time, but it happens always. So bye.